Good afternoon, scholars, and welcome back to the Restricted Collection, a podcast about tabletop games. I'm your host, the head librarian Chad, and today we're continuing playing Sebastian through Night of Vespers. I had 6 XP and decided to make my life easy and just I felt like I could use a little bit more wiggle room. So Sin Eater. I just grabbed Sin Eater. So nothing fancy there. I decided to go with Gigi, and because of that, she starts in play with. So because of that, we're playing Dancing with Death, and also because of that, I get her in play from the start, and she does not take up an ally slot. So Gigi Giuliano, Been Things, Seen Places. 3 cost, commits 4 in agility and a wild. You get +1 agility while she's in play, and reaction: when you would take a will test on a treachery card, you can exhaust her to reduce the difficulty of that test by 2, limit once per round. So we are, as I said, playing Dancing with Death. Skulls are -X. X the number of cards with victory 1 or higher in the victory display. Cultists are reveal another token. If you fail, move the nearest bewitched enemy once towards you. And tablets are -2. If you fail, spin the performance hall until it is facing your location. If you are at the performance hall, take 1 horror instead. Agenda 1A, The Dance Macabre. We are the Nussbaum Academy for the Performing Arts was founded in late 1890s by Helen Nussbaum, a wealthy and eccentric immigrant from Baden-Württemberg. Over the years, the Academy has earned wide international acclaim, with alumni featured in the London Symphony Orchestra and the Ballets Russes. But based on the state of affairs this evening, it's safe to say that you're witness the Academy's final act. Apologies, the text is a little small. Jinx. Spin the performance hall X times in a direction of your choice, where X is the amount you failed by, limit once per round. Forced, when a story asset, story card, or non-weakness card with victory 0 or higher enters the victory display, remove 1 doom from the agenda to a minimum of 1. Dancing with Death version 1, thanks to Gigi's foresight, slipping into Nussbaum Academy is a breeze. If there's any dirt on Madame Giuliano here, finding it should be a walk in the park. If you didn't know better, you'd think the school was out for the season. So why can't you shake this nagging feeling of unease? At the end of the round, the investigators may spend the requisite number of clues, 3 per investigator, to advance, and we begin at the entryway, traded Nussbaum Academy. Nussbaum Academy itself is a massive manor estate. Its scarlet exterior adorned with intricate gold detailings and large latticed windows. Rumors say that the building is an exact replica of Madame Nussbaum's family home in Germany. 2 shroud, 1 per investigator. Clues. Boop. Reaction: after you evade an enemy here, immediately move to the Grand Salon, and then double action, gain 3 resources, limit once per game. So opening hand is an offering bowl, David Renfield, Deny Existence, Kane Aiden Esquire, and a Will of the Cosmos. As much as I do like a lot of what's going on here, I think I'm going to keep none of it. I really want to find something to use my will with, either for fighting or for... otherwise, I got 2 Blood of Thoths, an Offering Bowl, a Malediction, and a Play the Fool. Okay. You know what? Just is what it is. At least Malediction can help me with investigating. That's something. Blood of Thoth early means it can pay off. This scenario has a pretty decently high Doom threshold. So take what I can get. Yes, that's the real trick, is I have 1 intellect. I've got 4s in all of my other stats, thanks to Gigi, but yeah. So let's go ahead and put Blood of Thoth down. That cost me 2. 1, 2. And then let's get an Offering Bowl down. That cost me 1. And then I will use an offering, take a damage, which I'll take onto myself, and gain 2 resources. And then for my last regular action, let's throw down Malediction, which has 3 charges. And whenever I add Whenever Doom is placed on a card under my control, I can exhaust it. And either deal a damage, it's exhausted and spend a charge to either deal a damage or discover a clue at my location. I could move. I don't want to, but thank you. Resource and a card puts me at 2 resources, and I got a dowsing rod, so I'll be able to move and investigate shortly. 1 of 12 Doom, and I draw a Crypt Chill. Okay. I will reduce its difficulty by 2, so I'm 2 up. Tablet, -2. If I fail, I did not. Thanks, game. We're going to go ahead and exhaust and do another damage to myself to get 2 resources as a fast. There are no offerings on Offering Bowl. Discard it. Okay, good to know. And we'll throw down a dowsing rod. It's my first real action. And we're going to investigate using Will. And I'm going to use... This is fun. This is interesting. Oh, this is fun. Since I actually wow. Since I now actually have Dowsing Rod out, I can choose the if this investigation discovers the last clue at a location, remove a Doom from Dowsing Rod. But Chad, there's no Doom on Dowsing Rod. Not currently. -3, which would be a fail, so I will add a Doom to Dowsing Rod as part of Sebastian Benitez's ability to place a Doom, and then I will take the test again at +2. And I put a Doom on a thing, so I get to put an offering on Blood of Thoth. Skull, -X. X is the number of cards in the victory display. I passed. And that removes the Doom from Dowsing Rod. Loving this so far. That's 1 clue. Then we will next action Dowsing Rod, investigate over to the Grand Salon. The Academy's vestibule is lavish indeed, almost overwhelmingly so. The stylish modern decor makes the Hotel Seasons attempts at achieving the same aesthetic feel almost chintzy. 3 shroud, 1 per investigator. Clues. Forced when when locations on the immediate right and left of the Grand Salon are revealed, put an additional 1 per investigator clues on them. Locations to the immediate right and left get -1 shroud. Cool. So there's now 2 things on Blood of Thoth. I will investigate. That is an automatic failure. Okay. Do I want to use Blood of Thoth? I will add a Doom... Not Blood of Thoth. I'm going to add a Doom to Offering Bowl, which will put Blood of Thoth to 3, to retake this test and be 6 to 3. -2. That's a clue. All right. So now I've got 2 Doom amongst my things. I do have a Hermes action still, so let's go ahead and move to the next one clockwise. So there's 3, they're all same on the back, but there's 3 Nussbaum interiors that make a circle, half the circle on one side, 3 on the other side. Nussbaum Academy's vibrant red exterior stands in startling contrast to the dark woodland that surrounds it. It must have cost a fortune to build so far away from the city. I found the student dormitories. 1 shroud. Free trigger, spend up to 3 clues or resources to move that many clues from connecting location to the student dormitory to spin the performance hall once. Forced when you are at this location, if it is connected to the performance hall, treat student dormitory's base shroud as if it were 5. So it does have 1 per investigator clues. As I move over to it, I will spend 2 off of Blood of Thoth to investigate with my Dowsing Rod using the Clearing Doom option. Reveal another token from a cultist. into an automatic failure. If I fail, move the nearest bewitched enemy once towards me. There are no bewitched enemies. I could add a doom to something to take this test again. I'm going to go ahead and free trigger take a doom off of Offering Bowl onto Sin Eater, and then add a doom to Offering Bowl using my ability, which will tick up Blood of Thoth, to attempt this test again. Into a -2, which will clear the doom off of Dowsing Rod and get me a clue, which means I can advance at the end of this round. Okay. Resource and a card. I gotta watch this, and I have one resource. But, you know, I can use Offering Bowl. Offering Bowl's here. So I've got 2 regular doom. Oh, I needed to spend 3 clues. I added the doom already, but I'll advance now. It quickly becomes apparent that all is not well within the prestigious dance academy. An eerie tension hangs in the air, and the sense of dread in the back of your mind has only grown larger. Though Gigi's ruse was vital in clearing out most of the students, the ones you encounter now are dazed and confused, moving languidly from room to room like sleepwalkers. Strangely, you've encountered no signs of the school's faculty. The headmistress's chambers you realize could hold vital clues about Madame Giuliano's whereabouts, but they are securely locked, much like many other rooms dedicated to the school's staff. As you head to the headmistress's door, a small glassy object tumbles down a nearby staircase, landing with a delicate thud. You pick it up and find it is intricately carved carved bird in crystal. You crane your neck up to see where it might have fallen from, but the top of the stairway is shrouded in darkness. Choose Investigator to take control of the set-aside glass peacock. Sure. It takes up a hand slot. This card, until the end of the scenario, this card does not take up a hand slot. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Reveal any remaining unrevealed academy locations except for the headmistress's chamber. Okay. Gather. Let me put clues on them before I forget. So you should have 3. The lecture theater, which is also connected to the Grand Salon, has normally 2 but 3 per investigator clues. The natatorium, I guess it's supposed to be like not like it's a swimming pool, so it would be like natatorium. Greenhouse, 1 per investigator. Private recital chamber, 1 per investigator. Dining hall, 1 per investigator. Great. And then the performance hall just has 1 clue. Okay. Gather the set-aside Patricia Sims, Olga Safrona, and Sarah Pierce story. Put them into play at the lecture theater. Put Patricia into play at the lecture theater. Okay. Patricia at the lecture theater. Done. I will describe more of where things are in a minute. Olga at the private recital chamber. All right. And Sarah at the student dormitory. Hey, that's with me. Okay, choose an investigator. Put this aside. Great. So, retomb. You're itching to get into the headmistress's chamber, but her door is much sturdier than it looks. Maybe one of the students can help you find a key, if you can find any who still have their wits about them. If investigators at a location connecting to the headmistress's chamber have at least 2 keys, you may choose to advance. Great. So, let's just draw my... I added a doom. Let's draw my encounter card, which is a Daughter of Whispers. Spawns at the location with the most non-elite enemies. There are no locations. Everything's the same, so I'm going to put you in the Academy foyer. I'll worry about you later, but force at the end of the round, each enemy not named Daughter of Whispers at this location is moved to a connecting location. So I've just kind of shunted her off to the side for now. So let's talk about things. So the way that I have the map set up is that I am in the student dormitories, which is the like 11 o'clock position, if you will. It's supposed to be a circle, but it's also like a 3x3 grid. if you want to look at it that way. So in the 3x3 grid, I am in the upper left position. In the upper middle position is the dining hall. In the upper right position is the private recital chamber with Olga, and Sarah's with me, as I've already said. In the middle right position, for how I have it oriented, is the headmistress's chamber, which I cannot get into. Then going across the bottom, in the bottom right is the greenhouse, the bottom middle is the natatorium, and the bottom left is the lecture theater with Patricia Sims. Then we have the grand salon in the middle left position. In the center is the performance hall, which depends on how that is oriented. It will connect to the location to the top of it and to the bottom of it based off of its orientation. It is currently connecting the grand salon to the headmistress's chamber. Great. Each one of the performer assets that have been put into play, Olga, Sarah, and Patricia, all have a will plus something else test, difficulty 8. So for example, Sarah is a student of music. She has will plus intellect 8 to attempt to shake her out of her trance. As an additional cost, I may spend any number of actions when I initiate this test. For each action spent, reduce the difficulty of this test by 3. So annoyingly, I have the one I am worst at with me. But, you know, it's what it is. Great. So I'm going to spend 2 offerings off of the Blood of Thoth to get an extra action right now that I'm immediately taking action with. Great. I'm going to take the action on Sarah Pierce. And with the action on Sarah Pierce, I am going to spend... If I spend 2 additional actions, then I will have 1 regular action and a Hermes action, and then I will reduce the difficulty by 6, so I will be testing at 6 to 2, which feels pretty good, and then gives me an action with which to still respond with. Oh, I forgot to say, the Glass Peacock gives me +1 will. That's why I'm at 6 to 2 for this. And then action, if an enemy with the Jinxed keyword is at my location, I can discard the Glass Peacock to exhaust that enemy. If the enemy is not elite, deal 2 damage to it. This enemy does not... this action does not trigger tax opportunity. I drew a Cultist, which reveals another token, and then a -2, so I passed. So if I succeed, flip this card over. Sarah's Rescue. With some effort, you manage to snap Sarah out of her trance. Her voice is raspy and hoarse, worn thin from hours spent singing a haunting, mournful melody she can barely recall. You urge her to get out of the school fast. But wait, she whispers, her voice tiny and strange. You need to find the headmistress. I've hidden a key where no one will think to look for it. Gather one of the set-aside keys. I'll flip them over so that I don't know which ones they are, since the tokens I'm currently using are all one-sided. I found a random key. Put that in the performance hall, which is in the center. It's a tablet. Remember that you may use a free trigger ability to pick up a key at a location that has no clues on it. Flip this card over and add it to the victory display. It is victory 1. When a story asset, story card, or non-weakness enemy with victory 0 or higher enters the victory display, remove 1 doom. Done. Great. So I will move to the Grand Salon with my Hermes action, and then I will add a doom to the Dowsing Rod, which will add an offering to the Blood of Thoth, to then shimmy on in with the Dowsing Rod to the Performance Hall. Performance Hall is jinxed, so if I fail a test, a fight, evade, or intellect investigation check here, then I will trigger the jinx. And then force, if an enemy would move clockwise from this location, it does so from the top. If it would move counterclockwise, it does so from the bottom. So I am 5 to 2, 3 up, -3. That's a clue, and that's a key. And then, just because I like keeping things clean, we're going to go ahead and use Sin Eater to eat a doom off of Offering Bowl, which will put another thing on Blood of Thoth. Because of course it does. I'm really liking how this is working, if that hasn't already come through. Resource and a card. I found the Great Prince Cameo He's my weakness, insatiably inquisitive. Put into play, search my deck, discard pile and play area for Caden Aiden Esquire and set him aside out of play. He's in my deck. I'm going to leave him there. If I draw him, I'll just draw through him. It just saves me time shuffling him. And then while he is in play, Sebastian Benitez cannot succeed at tests without using the action ability on his investigator. And then I can take a direct damage and horror to discard the Great Prince Cameo and shuffle Cain Aiden Esquire back into my deck. That's not great, if I'm being honest. So, add a Doom. That puts us at 2 Doom official plus 3 Doom amongst my things is 5 of 12 Doom. Oh boy. Ready my tokens for counting my actions. En Avant, Madness Performance. Resolve the Hunter, Patrol, or Elusive keyword on a Patroller enemy in play on a Performer enemy in play. There are no Performer enemies in play. If no enemies are removed to this effect, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a Performer enemy and spawn it in the Performance Hall, which is where I am. The Enthralled Student is Jinxed. 1 health, 2 fight, 5 evade, humanoid performer, bewitched, aloof, jinxed, patrol counterclockwise. As additional cost to enter its location, you must either spend the additional action or place a Doom on her. And resolve her patrol keyword as part of placing a Doom on her. Okay. Sweet. First action, I'm taking a direct damage and a direct horror to get rid of Great Prince Cameo. Discard it, and then I would shuffle the regular version of him back in, but I didn't take him out, and I haven't drawn any cards, and this is kind of why I didn't take him out immediately. Like, if I found him, I would have just drawn through him, but it's fine. So it doesn't cost me anything to leave here, because I'm already with her. But she patrols counterclockwise, and if it would move counterclockwise, it leaves from the bottom. So kind of annoying, if I'm being honest. I'm only 2 up to punch, but, you know, is what it is. Okay, and there's only one way out of here for me right now, which is to go to the Grand Salon. So let's keep my life simple, and Hermes on over to the Grand Salon. So 1 real action spent, 1 Hermes action spent. Then let's add a Doom to the Dowsing Rod, on over to the Lecture Theater, sorry. And investigate as part of this. I'm only 1 up. I'm going to commit Watch This and Blood of Thoth and bet my $2. No, I don't want to bet my $2 on this. I'm going to be 1 up, and that's fine. -1. Well, I got the clue. I was actually kind of hoping to fail that. But that's what I get, I guess. Let's go ahead and... I have 2 actions left. It could be an enemy on the backside. Let's talk to her. I'm only 1 up talking to her, because again, I kind of want to fail this. Skull, -X, the number of cards with victory 1 or higher in the victory display, which is 1. So I passed. It's not exactly what I've been wanting, but it's fine. Hey, look, it's an enemy! Patricia Sims, an act of terror. 4 health, 2 fight, 2 evade, humanoid, performer, bewitched, elite, aloof, elusive. Place 1 of the set-aside keys on her. She has the Elder Thing key. Force, at the end of the enemy phase, if she is unengaged, move her 1 location away from the nearest investigator to a location with no investigators if possible. If she is engaged, disengage her instead. Vanish, I must vanish. We must die. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm not great at hitting her right now. Let's see, I forgot to read what the Lecture Theater does. Free trigger, spend up to 3 clues, spend the performance hall that many times in any direction. Force the beginning investigation phase of investigator is at lecture hall and it is not connected to the performance hall. Refresh, clues on the lecture theater to its maximum clue value. Okay. Let's go ahead and engage her. I'll spend 2 off of Blood of Thoth to get an action immediately, with which I will punch her. Elder Sign. Let's take one off of Dowsing Rod. I can remove a Doom. +2 and I may remove a Doom. So let's take one off of Dowsing Rod, which only now has 1 Doom on it. And that is a damage. And let's just punch you again. Another Elder Sign. I'll take it off of Dowsing Rod and do another damage. Thanks? Actually, no, we're going to take it off of Sin Eater, and then I will have Sin Eater eat the Doom off of Dowsing Rod, which will refresh, which will get another offering on Blood of Thoth. That's how that should work. I will take a damage in Horror, which I will put onto Gigi. Thanks, Gigi. Real pal. And then you will disengage me at the end of the enemy phase. So resource card. I got another watch this. That's funny. And then we will add a Doom. Puts us at 3 official +2 on my stuff. Doom. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. When any amount of Doom is placed on a card, which, I could have exhausted Malediction and done a bonus damage to Patricia. So I will do that. I will have done that last round. En avant. Resolve the Hunter Patroller elusive keyword on a performer enemy in play. I should have had you go counterclockwise here, and then resolve this. Yeah, so the enthralled student's now with me, which is fine. It's aloof, and I don't really care about it. That's kind of hilarious that I can do this. Sorry, I'm just like, I can just Malediction now. If I can just add a Doom to something, I can just deal the damage to Patricia and be done with it and save me an action, maybe? So if that's the case, how do I want to do this? Because I want to add Doom to things. I will... You know what? Let's just kill Patricia normally. I'm going to engage her as my first action. And then I'll spend my 2 offerings from Blood of Thoth to get an action back. So I have 3 regular actions still. Thank you, Blood of Thoth. I'm just going to punch you. I'm 2 up to punch. I will commit Watch This and all 3 resources to be 3 up to punch, which feels pretty good. -2 from a tablet. Great. So you're dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 resources, and I get a second key, and you get added to the victory display, which reduces the amount of Doom in play by 1. So back down to 2 Doom. Great. So I engaged you, and I punched you. Great. This feels silly, but it's just efficient. I'm going to go ahead and exhaust Dowsing Rod to add a Doom to it, to then exhaust Malediction to ping Enthralling Student for 1 damage, so it's just dead. And then that will move me back to the Grand Salon. I do have to investigate. -3, I failed. I'm fine failing. Failing is fine. Sometimes failing is all you need it to be. And then I will just Hermes to the student dormitory, and then last action go to the dining hall just to be there. Yeah, okay. I feel pretty good about where this currently is. Ready everything, resource, and a card. So 7 resources, and I got another malediction. Hey. Great. We go to 3 official doom plus 3 doom amongst my things for a total of 6 doom, and I drew another crypt chill. Okay, let's reduce the difficulty of this test by 2, so I'm 5 to 2 if I commit watch this and 3 resources. That puts me at 6 to 2. Elder Sign. Take it off Sin Eater. And then that puts me at 10 resources. Great. This is just great. Everything's great. I don't know what the problem is. I only have 1. Oh no, I have 2 clues from shenanigans. Great. Let's go ahead and throw down another malediction just to have it. And then, like, so I'll be honest with you. I've got the offering bowl still because I want to be able to, like, throw a doom on it and then just ditch it whenever I want to. But it just hasn't been relevant, and I haven't needed the money. It's kind of how I feel about the malediction. Like, once it has 0 charges, it's just something for me to get rid of once it has doom on it that I don't care about. Dining hall, double action, spend 2 clues, heal 2 damage, and while you're at this location, while you are at this location is not connected to the performance hall, you may not activate abilities on player cards. Okay. So let's go ahead and just heal 2 damage. 1, 2, putting me at 1 of 9 now. And then let's move over to the recital hall. After you move to the recital chamber, move a non-lead enemy from a connecting location to my location, or vice versa. Then spin the performance hall once counterclockwise. Okay. While you're at this location, if it is connected to the performance hall, you get -2 to fight and investigate actions. So I don't want it to be connected. I could flip you into an enemy, so I don't particularly want to do that. So let's just investigate. I will use Dowsing Rod and be... I haven't looked at the token yet. I'm just doing my math. I'm at 5 to 3. I think that's it. 5 to 3. -3. Great. Let's go ahead and put a doom on to the... Nope, I don't want to put a doom onto the offering bowl because I'm okay failing this. Failing this is fine. I don't want to just trigger all my shenanigans right now, so let's not. Let's not worry about it. But, wait a minute. But if I do add a doom, I could then eat it. That would give me the second thing on Blood of Thoth. And then I could exhaust Blood of Thoth and do shenanigans. And then it would let me clear Dowsing Rod. Sure, let's put a thing on Offering Bowl to retake this test at 7 to 3, which is an Elder Sign. Great. Let's take it off of Sin Eater. And then Dowsing Rod gets cleared because that's what Dowsing Rod does when I clear the last clue off a location and I don't explicitly use the other ability. Hooray. This is weird. This is weird. That gets the thing on Blood of Thoth. I don't want to use the action right now. I'd rather have it for next turn. So, ready everything, resource, and a card. So I've got a Ouija board, which is another way for me to investigate with my will. Blood of Thoth and a Play the Fool in hand with 11 resources and 3 clues. Great. We move to 4 official doom plus 1 player doom from me, so 5 doom of 12. That is, I drew a card from my deck and not the encounter deck. So let me just shuffle that back in real quick. It was a Dowsing Rod. Wasn't like a weakness or something that I was like, oh shoot, but just wrong deck. Dancing Plague. Revelation put into play next to the agenda deck. While it is in play, each investigator must take 1 damage or horror each time they take a move action. At the end of the round, discard 1 copy. So don't move. Got it. Let's try talking to her. I'm will plus agility. I'm 9 to 8. Could really use a blood pact if I'm being honest. 9 to 8. That's fine. Cultist, reveal another token into a skull. So yeah, let's add a doom to something to make myself feel better about this, which again, to my understanding, means I'm redoing the test immediately before the fail effects would happen. So I could potentially avoid them. So let's go ahead and add a doom to the malediction I don't care about so much. I'm not going to trigger any of my maledictions. And we're going to test again at 3 up. Skull, -2. Great. So that was my first real action. I'm probably going to get it back with Blood of Thoth, but you know. Hey, look, it's an enemy. Olga Strafanova. 3 health, 2 fight, 4 evade. Humanoid performer, bewitched, elite, aloof, alert. Place one of the keys on her. Done. It's the cultist key. At the end of the enemy phase, if she is unengaged, move her 1 location. It's the same text. Okay. Elegance in horror. So I'm going to engage her. And I'm going to spend 2 off of Blood of Thoth and exhaust it to get an action back. So I have 2 regular actions and a Hermes action. But I'm not moving this turn because of Dancing Plague. And I'm going to punch her. I'm 2 up to punch. -1. That's a success. I'm going to punch her again because... No, I'm not going to punch her. I'm going to evade her because I'm even to evade. Elder Sign. You know, that's not what I wanted, game. I appreciate it, but that's not what I wanted. I wanted to fail. I'll take a doom off of Malediction, I guess. I'll take a doom off of... I'll move a doom from Offering Bowl to Sin Eater to charge up the Blood of Thoth. You're evaded, so you're not going to hurt me this turn. Oh, wait, I moved a doom. Which means I can spend 1 from both of my maledictions and kill you. Right, it's when I can also use it on moving of doom. Great, I've got all 3 clues, or all 3 keys. And you get added to the victory display, which means we lose a doom from the total count. I don't want to take a damage or a horror, though. Well, no, I want to stay here. I'm adjacent to the headmistress's chamber. So I just want to stay here. Anywho. This deck is silly. Resource and a card. Consultation. Commit only do a skill test during an investigation or parlay. If the test fails, place a doom in my investigator. After the test ends, draw a card, regardless. Great. Dancing Plague gets discarded. I go to 4 official doom plus 1 amongst cards I control, so 5 of 12 still. And I will choose to advance after the Mythos phase. All right, I've got an Obscuring Fog that I don't care about, but thanks for asking. Headmistress's chamber, let's advance. Once inside the headmistress's chamber, you scour every nook and cranny, searching for any clue about Madame Giuliano. The minutes passed in silence until Gigi gasps. I only just touched it, she says, pointing to an ornate wall carving of a blue flower. A hidden panel has opened beside her, revealing a dark passage. Do you want to see where it goes? You both venture down a long, winding tunnel towards a faint, distant light. Eventually, you arrive at your destination and wish you hadn't. Several women in robes encircle an open chamber, the lifeless body of a young woman contorted in agony at the center. An older, dark-skinned woman in a stylish suit, clearly their leader, paces over the corpse. It's not enough, she laments, frustration coloring her voice. They aren't enough. There aren't enough suitable candidates for Helena's arrival. What will she say? We're running out of time. The leader whirls around to her followers, her eyes burning with rage. We continue the sacrifices. The students must die. Helena, give me power. Ah! The sudden outburst startles you and you realize Gigi has set the velvet curtains surrounding the room's perimeter on fire with a nearby candelabra. I've had enough of this witchy nonsense, she hisses, her eyes blazing as flames spread throughout the chamber. Let's get out of here. Put the Chamber of Size into play, revealed, and move each investigator at a location next to the headmistress' chamber to the headmistress's chamber. Headmistress's chamber. 4 shroud, 2 per investigator. Clues. At the end of the round, if an investigator is at the headmistress's chamber, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until an enemy is revealed and spawn that at the performance hall and spin it once in any direction. All right. And then we need to put the Who's a What's It into play. The Chamber of Size. 5 shroud, 2 per investigator. Clues. Jinxed. When an investigator is in the Chamber of Size, each bewitched enemy loses any hunter and patrol keywords and gains patrol Chamber of Size. Great. Discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until 2 witch enemies are revealed. Spawn one at the Chamber of Size and spawn the other one at the performance hall. So the first one. Nope. I need to find 2 witch enemy, not bewitched. A lot of familiars. Okay, Twining Supplicant is our first winner. And Daughter of Whispers is the second one. So, okay, so that goes like that. So spawn one at the Chamber of Size, the other at Performance Hall. So the Daughter of Whispers. They're both 2 health. They're both 3 fight. One's elusive. One's alert. I'm going to put the Daughter of Whispers at the Performance Hall and the Twining Supplicant into the Chamber of Size for now. Because he'd be coming anyway because he's bewitched. Okay, great. Gather the set-aside Blanche Pappenheimer enemy and put her into play at the Chamber of Size. Shuffle the Inferno encounter set into the encounter deck along with the discard pile. Okay. Contretemps, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Of all the things you expected to find in the depths of Nussbaum Academy, a coven of murderous witches wasn't on the list. Gigi may have put a stop to their ritual, but you still need to get out of this place, and fast, before you end up as one of the sacrifices as well. Academy Foyer gains action Resign. If each investigator has resigned, advance. Blanche gets it's 3+1 per investigator health, so 4 health, 3 fight, 4 evade, retaliate. At the end of the enemy phase, if Blanche Pappenheimer is ready, search the encounter deck for a performer enemy and spawn it at the performance hall, then spin the performance hall clockwise twice. Wait a minute, I should have. I guess it didn't. Well, actually, in retrospect, I'm gonna have spawned the 2 enemies differently because of the way that the performance hall was reoriented to be perpendicular to the main path. It is actually better for me to have the one that hunts because it's so far away now, and then I don't have to deal with the elusive keyword. I really wish I had a weapon. Weapons would be something I wish I had more weapons. Let's put it that way. So that's something I'm going to be looking into with XP. Is like, how do I do more damage? Because I have realized that I overcompensated for. The clue getting. I'm good at getting clues. I'm real good at getting clues. Cool. I have all of my actions. Because I did that first. Okay, so let's go ahead and... Because So if I can defeat Poppenheimer, that would be great. So Hermes on in. Let's just start there. Hermes on in. I make friends with both of them because neither of them are aloof. That's fine. Let's go ahead and spend 2 off of the Blood of Thoth to get me a Blood of Thoth action, which I will immediately use to punch Blanche. I'm only 1 up. -1. That's a damage. Punch again. I'm only 1 up. -2. Oh no. Let's go ahead and put a Doom onto the Malediction that I don't care about, which will put a marker on Blood of Thoth to punch again at 3 up. And I will also have exhausted the Malediction that has charges to do a bonus damage. Cultist into a -1. So you've now taken 3 damage. Because, great, I'm going to punch you again with my second to last action. I'm 1 up. Automatic failure. We are going to add a Doom to the Offering Bowl to do this all over again. -4, I still think is still a fail, and I can't test it again. So we're just going to punch you one last time. I'm going to eat a Doom from the Malediction onto the Sin Eater, which will put another thing on Blood of Thoth. And we're going to punch 1 up once again for my last action. Hey, look, that's a -2. We're going to add a Doom to that Malediction I don't care about. Which puts another thing on Blood of Thoth. And punch at 3 up. -1. You're dead. Which removes the Doom from play, putting us back down to 3. I will spend 2 resources, 1, 2, to get rid of the Malediction that I have that has a Doom on it. And I have 3 Doom. Yeah, I'm fine. I've got 3 Doom amongst my things. That's fine. Okay, I'm going to take a damage and a horror. 1, 2. And resource and a card. Another consultation. Consultation, I like it, but it's not as applicable as I've been wanting it to be. Great. 4 official Doom plus 3 on my stuff is 7 of 12. Vanitas. Power performance. Surge. Reveal a random token from the Chaos bag. Spin the performance hole clockwise. I forgot to... You do hunt. You patrol. You should have patrolled. But spin the thing. That's a 0, so +1. So spin the performance hole clockwise X time, plus, which is the tokens modifier, +1. So 1. And then that surges. Designated victim. Test will 3. We'll decrease the difficulty of that test by 2. Thank you. So I'm 5 to 1. -3. I didn't fail. Great. Let's punch a bunch of things. So we're going to spend 2 off of Blood of Thoth to get a bonus action, which I will use to punch. 1 up on punching. I will commit Ouija board to be 2 up on punching. I don't care about being... I'm 1 up on punching. That is a tablet, -2. I will add a Doom to my other Malediction, and I will exhaust the Malediction to do a damage to the Daughter of Whispers. And then I will punch again at 6 to 3. 3 up. -1. You're dead. Love it when you're not bothering me. Okay. Now here's the real trick. I'm even with the dowsing rod to get clues. I've only punched once. I'm even with the dowsing rod to get clues. Oh, I should have played the fool. That would have been smart. I didn't, but I should have. Let's commit a Blood of Thoth and a Ouija board to be 2 up. -2, that's a clue. And then we'll investigate. I will fast take one off of the Malediction that I don't care about to put it over onto my Sin Eater, which now has 3 Doom on it. And I will Elder Sign. Cool, we'll take it off the Offering Bowl. And I get the other clue. Great. Love it when it works. So I investigated. So I punched, investigate. We are going to dowsing rod into the mistress's chamber and investigate at 1 up. -3. Let's add a doom to the offering bowl. No, put it on the malediction. And get a +1. Great. Oh boy, we're going to spend 2 resources. 1, 2, to get rid of the malediction that has a doom on it, because I don't care. This is great. This is great. Resource and a card. Rebound. Fast play after an asset leaves play. I get +3 skill value for the next test I perform this round. Hot diggity. That's great. And then you would have... You don't hunt, because I'm not there anymore. We go to 5 official doom +3 on Sin Eater. Puts me at 8 of 12. And I draw another Vanitas. So reveal another token. It's a 0 again. I will spin it. Oh, at the end of the round, it would have spun once anyway from the headmistress's chamber. And I should have discarded cards until I found an enemy spawn. So let me do that real quick. Hey, look, it's a Lissam Familiar. And then the card that I drew was going to surge into an Enevant. Resolve the hunter or patrol keyword on on a performer enemy in play. There are no performer enemies in play. So, excuse me, if no enemy is removed due to this effect, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a performer enemy and put them at the center. Sure. Let's take that enthralled students. That is aloof and won't bother me. I like it when they are aloof and do not bother me for the most part. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have had a doom on dowsing rod that I forgot to account for. Doom. Cool. I'm going to spend 2 off of Blood of Thoth for an extra action right now. I'm going to investigate with my dowsing rod. Zero. Great. Remove the doom from dowsing rod. Get that clue. There is no VP left that I'm aware of. So between my 3 remaining regular actions and my Hermes action, I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3. And out of an abundance of... I don't need to be cautious. I have so much wiggle room right now. So, yeah, I'll just move 4 spaces. I'm not even going to go through the center. I'm just going to go around the long way because it makes my life easier. Enthralling students will patrol this way. Oh, you would have patrolled in... No, I surged into you. I got you because nothing patrolled. Got it. Resource and a card. Hey, Kane Aiden Esquire, the perfect wingman. Yeah, better late than never. 6 official doom plus 3 on Sin Eater puts me at 9 of 12. And we draw Vanitas. Sure, you can go that way. I don't care. Oh, wait, no, I'm supposed to draw a token. It's not just one movement, it's draw a token. -2, so 1, 2, 3. Sure. I'm not planning on going that way anywho, so that's fine. Backdraft. Attach backdraft to your location. After you move to or from backdraft, you must either take a damage or lose an action. Free test. Test agility 4. If you succeed, discard backdraft. You may immediately take an action as if it were your turn. This action does not count towards the number of actions you can take each turn. Otherwise, take a direct damage. Okay. Okay. I'm going to free trigger test 4. I'm even. That's a tablet. Oh no, I failed. We're going to add a doom to Offering Bowl to retake that test. I'm going to free trigger, use Offering Bowl to take damage. But hey, Chad, why didn't you just take the damage when you left? I'm like, it's more fun this way. Just work with me, okay? And then I'm something left to play, so I'm going to play Rebound. So I'm going to be now testing 9 to 4 because I said so. And I gained $2. It's an Elder Sign. Sure, take it off of Sin Eater. So this is now discarded, and I gain an action as if it were my turn. I'll spend 2 off of... Okay, so I'm going to use Hermes to move, and then I have 5 regular actions. So we're going to clear Sin Eater, even though it's going to deal me an attack of opportunity, and then I'm going to leave because I can. Boy, howdy, this is a silly deck, and I love it. Just like this particular scenario also lets me play with Doom a lot, which I appreciate. There's just such a big Doom threshold. You tear through the dimly lit halls of Nussbaum Academy, the manic cackling of Madame Poppenheimer's coven snapping at your heels. With one final sprint, you and Gigi crash through the front door, spilling into the cold night. You don't stop running until the Academy is a distant silhouette against the moonlight sky, the coven's furious cries fading into darkness. R1. Boy, howdy. All right, R1. We stopped the ritual at Nussbaum Academy and add a tablet to the Chaos Bag for the remainder of the campaign. Great. Any investigator may add the Glass Peacock to their deck. Done. If all 3 of them, Olga, Patricia, and Sarah, are in the victory display, we get a bonus XP. And if Blanche is in the victory display, record that you have deposed the leader of the Nussbaum Academy Coven. Then each investigator earns victory X equal to the victory X value of each card in the victory display, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Plus 1 from getting all 3 of them. So 7 XP. That's pretty decent. I'll consider my fighting options, because I would really like something to fight with, as opposed to just punching. And then we go to scenario 2A, behind closed doors. 7 XP. I'm probably going to have to... Well, wait a minute. I can take the something of Azathoth, can't I? Yeah. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with 7 XP. I need to look at my fighting options, but... yeah. This is silly and fun, and I like it. But that's just me. If anybody wants to get in contact with me about anything, feel free to reach out to me at therestrictedcollection@gmail.com. Otherwise, you can find me around Reddit and Discord as Head Librarian Chad. Thanks for listening.